Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Heartiest compliments to people of the Mumbai Tech Week. A great initiative, and to put together a group like this and to discuss technology and AI all day, it's really a privilege for all of us to come talk to you as well. About IDFC Bank, I couldn't hear what she was speaking from the backstage, so I'll just say a few words to you. IDFC Bank actually came into being in around 2016 as a bank. So think about it's like 10 years since the start of this bank. And in 2019, in the fiscal year 19, there was a merger between IDFC Bank and Capital First. So Capital First was lending to small entrepreneurs, giving loans of 20,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, kirana shops, salons, etc. We had a 30,000 crore book. IDFC was financing infrastructure, corporate, etc. And that was about 75,000 crores. And that's how it came together. My key interest at that point of time was to get a bank license, because I was running a non-bank finance company. I went to many people looking for a bank license. IDFC had a bank license. I said, okay, whatever it is, we'll merge and we'll build the bank from there. When I say whatever it is, I meant that it's a startup at that point of time. And we needed funding lines to grow the bank, and deposits from a bank gives you that. Now, that is the background. That's a quick 1-minute background to all of you. Now, I'm just going to share with you some brief concepts about what's happening at a macro level in India in this context of today's discussion of AI and tech. And I'll tell you, then I'll fit in where the story, where AI and technology fits in the equation. Now, if you see India's credit market, okay, I'm going to speak slowly because the numbers may not be very familiar to all of you, but I'll speak slowly as I can. If you see India's credit market on the retail side, just retail, it is 97 lakh crores. Okay, 97 lakh crores, the retail credit market. Of the 97 lakh crores, home loans is 44 lakh crores. Very safe, hardly any risk for banks. 10 lakh crores is car loans. Very safe, no risk for the lenders, everything runs well. 15 lakh crores is prime personal loans, which is good bureau score and everything. Very good these are people working at salaried organizations, well off, well paid, etc., reasonably well paid. They are prime customers. That's 15 lakh crores. Then the gold loan, 18 lakh crores. No risk, hardly anything. Therefore, if you add up just these four, you'll find 85 lakh crores. So out of 95 lakh crores, 85 lakh crores is home loans, gold loans, prime personal loans, and I mentioned one more to you. So when you think about these four categories, then you realize, and car loans. So when you put these pieces together, then you realize that the bottom of the pyramid is broadly not financed in this country. It's much lesser than what it should be. And even among these segments, what people are getting is, when lenders are lending to home loan, car loan also, it's a prime of those customers. And the rejection rate is bottom of pyramid. In other words, even if you take a home loan by a kirana shop, rejection is 50%. Car loan by a small kirana shop, rejection is 60%. So this is a truth of India. It is happening even today. So now I want to share with you that IDFC Bank, and which is a previous avatar of Capital First, we saw this situation that bottom of the pyramid does not get credit. And we were a non-bank finance company borrowing at 13% per annum. So we want to lend at 20%. When you lend at 20%, then you have to give to kirana shop, salon, chemist, dairy, somebody, cows, buffaloes, that kind of financing. And we started pure judgmental lending, pure judgment, human judgment lending. From human judgment, we moved to something called decision tree, which is basically, it's a rule-based engine. And from there, we went to something called logistical regression. Just if you don't get it, also just absorb it, think about it later. And then we moved to machine learning, where the machine allocates the weightages. And from there, we're now going to deep learning. We've been through many technologies over the last 15 years. Now, and every time we move to new technology, including machine learning, we are finding that the approval rates goes up and default comes down. We have seen this progressively in the last 15 years. Now, With the generative AI coming up today, and which is the reason I set this context for you, we are expecting that our ability, not only our ability, the banking system's ability, and certainly our ability to finance this bottom-up pyramid where rejection rates are so high can come down meaningfully, and credit cost and your delinquency also can come down. That magic can happen by generative AI. It can happen by generative. I'll show you how. Now, even over the last maybe 6 or 7 years, maybe 8 years, because UPI came in 2016, and that's been 10 years now, Indian digital ecosystem opened up, all of us know that. And therefore, definitely credit underwriting became much easier, and money is going to the bottom of the pyramid relatively. But let us say that a person wants to take a two-wheeler loan, and the person works in it's a gig industry and working maybe with Zomato or something. Initially, the system will look at it, oh, salary is only 15,000, 18,000, or very low, they are rejected. This is how banks work, because many things get rejected like that. But now since generative AI is able to pull information from multiple sources and can synthesize them and make meaning out of it at scale, it will now read the same statement as this person has got so many entries through the month of Swiggy or Zomato. Then the system will see that the customer has been, refueling himself or herself every day for 300 rupees or 400 rupees. The system can read that this person is operating in this location through. Now, AI can put all of these pieces together, and a loan which would have been rejected by just looking at salary of the person will get cleared, because the customer is actually good for it. I'll give you another example. Now, think of a farmer, small marginal farmer, wanting to take a loan. Now, tendency will be, you see that what I told you, the pyramid. Now, I told you 97 lakh crores, and I told you how bottom-up pyramid is not getting it. I'll just tell you in same logic. There is a 27 lakh crore agriculture financing market in India today, 27 lakh crores. But if you see carefully which farmers are getting credit, large farmers are getting credit, small farmers are getting very difficult. Same problem everywhere. If you go to MSME, same problem. Large SME, small SME, not getting it, same problem everywhere. So, same farmer example, if you were to then go and, evaluate that farmer, you may tend to reject it normally. But with the power of AI, and certainly the power of generative AI, now you can see a little more information, and you can make sense of the information. For example, if you see this farmer is now probably, procuring certain cattle feed, as you can see the statement of account. Now you can read his cattle feed. Or you can see that the farmer is supplying to Amul, and it's on the statement of account showing Amul Dairy. These kind of cues were being missed earlier. They were not being read. You just said debit, credit, debit, credit. When cash flow financing came, people saw debit, credit. But generative AI, we can see at scale. We can see 100 pages of document, see where the money has come from, where the money has gone. And in that farm, or in the farmer's case, if they found out that the person has been going to a veterinary hospital, or if you found out that there were other villages, other people in the same village who have availed loan, and we have done it. I once went to such a village somewhere near Indore, and the entire village I saw, the whole village was only into dairy. They were all coming, they had the cows and buffalo, they had the cows, and they had the goats, they were milking them and selling them. That's the model. So you could see that the whole community is doing this. So these kind of information from location tracking you put together, and what you could not have done before, suddenly you'll do it. So if you apply this concept what I described to you at scale, the power of AI, and particularly generative AI itself is very powerful. I'll give you some numbers for IDFC to understand how powerful AI is. When I mean AI, I mean classical AI. I'm not even talking of generative AI. That power is yet to unleash. I'm talking just today's AI, okay, which we call classical AI. By using all the things I told you earlier, those machine learning models, we have in IDFC Bank 150 machine learning models. 60 or 50 credit models only for lending. We don't say MSME. We find the chemist, and we have salon. What is the credit model for that? What is the salon model for a kirana shop? Like that, we go deep. There are about 55 to 60 such credit models and total 150 models in the bank, machine learning models. So what it does, it builds a AI bank at scale. And with that, today, you will find it, maybe you'll have to digest the number for a second. IDFC have 20 million live loans. 20 million, and just imagine, it's just a 10-year story. Okay, 10 years. And we have booking between 1.2 to 1.5 million loans a month. No human technology, no getting paper and reading it, and you cannot give 1 million loans a month, just not possible. AI is doing it. Now, as a person who's seen every evolution of, I have been doing this inclusive lending now since 15 years, ever since we started Capital First. I have done every experiment you can think of, hundreds of experiments. You can call me a, early stage PhD in this inclusive lending. Okay, I've done that much of inclusive lending. I've done every experiment that we can think of, over time, and still experimenting. But my experience is that this will actually improve, that this new technology will take it to another level. So that is one big role of the AI we talked about, or the upcoming generative AI. Now, if you move away from lending, I told you money will go to the bottom pyramid, there's a big economy sitting there. Now let's think of the second need in banking. In second need in banking is servicing. Okay? How servicing works. Today, we all know that branches are increasingly becoming less relevant. People hardly, to our bank, if you come and see any branches, they're all empty. I'm telling you, to go to any IDFC FIRST branch, and you will find it broadly empty. There'll be like 2-3 customers in a branch, right? And whole day only 20-30 people come in. Why? Because, Indian banking system has moved on. Our app is also really very good. I don't know if you're aware or not. IDFC FIRST Bank banking app is AI-powered, already it's AI-powered, and has a Google Play Store rating of 4.9 with 20 million downloads. Okay? 20 million downloads, 4.9. So just to tell you, the bank is really going after it. It is very, building a really high-quality technology bank. And you don't get 4.9 like that. You have to be really intuitive and ease of, and all that. But coming back to the point, servicing. So even though we have a good app, even though customers are not coming to the branch, when they come to the app, what do they see? Even today in our app, what do they see? They see that there's an item called customer service. You press on that button. Then you see, say, home loan. You click on home loan. Then you press the button, and then within home loan, some 8 options are there. You click one of the options, I need a NOC or foreclosure statement. Click on it. Then go there, then go there. It's a menu. Similarly, you want anything also, it's a menu. Now, if you want to debit your bank account and pay a credit card bill, go to credit card, find pay, within that select the bank, it's all a menu. It's it's not that convenient. That's the only thing we see, so we use it. But now, with the power of AI, we don't need to do it like this. Like the one that is demoed earlier in the previous presentation, we will be in a position to just speak to it. And customer does not need to know which menu to strike. They can just press that, they can go there, and they can just execute it. So all you're going to say is that, hey, can you help me invest in the best mutual fund according to your best research possible? That's all you said. Today, this free-form text is not taking. It will take soon. And then it will straight away take you to the mutual fund screen, do an AI, find out the various stocks available in the Indian stock system, do a 1-year forward research on the stock by going to Bloomberg, etc., plug it in the mutual fund, and then estimate which mutual fund will be what value 1 year from now, sort it, pick out the top 3 funds based on your income profile or based on your interest or your risk profile, and then give it to you. The AI. And this could not have been done even in the best of intent earlier. So the point I'm trying to say is that I gave you one example of service, how service will dramatically change. And you must expect, with the power of AI, a big shift in of how AI is going to improve service levels for people in the banking system. Certainly, you should expect this from IDFC for sure. And those of your IDFC customers will experience that every single day. We're trying to make an intuitive experience for customers. And now, earlier digitization, then AI, and now generative AI. Every time there will be a little step up. The third thing that is there in banking is about how, let me say, mules. Now, mules is a real problem because what happens in mules, I hope many of you understand the mule concept. Customers come, they give a good KYC document, perfectly okay. Bank took the loan on, account on. Customers is a sleeper, sleeps on the account for 5 months, 6 months, do some normal transaction so that they are not spotted. After that, somebody gives them money, money comes in, they do all wrong things, right? And then, you got to figure out how to offboard that customer. Now, this mule. Now, IDFC, again for the last 5 years, 7 years, have been building a really powerful capability using AI for spotting mules. How do we do it? At that time of onboarding itself, we are doing a number of checks using AI, saying that, is this customer jumping IP? Customer is in Mumbai, but IP is jumping between here to Jaipur to Chennai. So it's called impossible time travel. Okay, customer could not have done it, right? Or we see the demographic, we see the device data, all that, and we develop 3 generations of models, 4th generation model running right now. So it prevents them from coming in. After the customer comes in, again, depending on transaction patterns, usage, etc., constant check going on. And our bank has really done we get a very, very low number of mule accounts, as a bank, if you see all public data available. But that's not the point. We are using AI. The point is using. But in generative AI, again, I'm trying to differentiate to you between the old world to the digital world, to the AI world, and the generative AI world. These are 4 different worlds coming up. I'm telling you how it's evolving. Now, the same thing about mule, if it's generative AI, it will pick a lot more data, fundamentally because it can do unstructured data. This is very important to note. In all the 3 examples I gave you, it can consume unstructured data of an order of magnitude you cannot imagine, right? You've seen the presentation. So unstructured data, in the same example of mule, it can pick up a lot more information about multiple sources. Just in the interest of time, I'll skip that. But you can understand, the unstructured data. And then, even when you're declining a particular account, it can have a clearly well-reasoned information. One of the things that freaks me out, I get very upset when sometimes customers complain to IDFC saying that you blocked my account. I don't have time to I'm not looking at every complaint, but sometimes some catch my attention. And I get very upset because they say, no, we run an algorithm. In the algorithm, we found a false, it got caught, so we blocked it. It's easy for us to say, but for that customer who we blocked the account and said, onus is on the customer to come and prove to us, it's very difficult for that customer. Okay? I once told our people also in the bank, saying that if this keeps happening, then I'm going to block my employees' accounts, and I want to tell you how all of you feel how painful it is. So then we said, okay, how to solve this? Now with the power of AI, and particularly generative AI, you will be in a position to reduce the false positives. There'll be some still, but can dramatically lower. And your filing of suspected transaction reports to the FIU, etc., can happen, will be much lesser, more customer convenience. So I just gave you 3 examples already, about how we do underwriting, how we do servicing, how we do mule. Similarly, if you go through in collections and all that, the bot calling example they talked about right now. They can call, but many of these bots, when we build, they are in fact, they can be tuned to be always calm. Sometimes, the customer wants to trigger you. It happens in collection sometimes to the employee. Employee is an employee, you're a human. He or she can get triggered. But generative AI will not ever get triggered. You can just say, can prompt it, be ultra soft, be ultra calm, never get triggered, even with the customer. So you can give it certain prompts like that and say, don't call before this time, don't call after this time. So these are things you can tell, and it doesn't get tired. It doesn't bring the stories or family problems into the office. It does no. So you get the drift. So the point I'm trying to say is that these are really. I gave you 4 examples. Like that. At least at IDFC, we are thinking every single day how we can improve using technology. And I'll tell you, especially with the arrival of with the arrival of AI or any new technology, your platform should be well built to consume that. Very important. You can have, so for example, AI has come. Now, what IDFC has been doing for the last many years, and we anyway needed it to do, whether or not generative AI, we have been working on a data platform. I'll give you an example so that you understand about how data can be a problem and how data can be a solution. It's both. First, I'll tell you how data can be a problem. Suppose there's a customer who's taken was 22 or 23 or 25 and took a two-wheeler loan. They had a certain information, certain income profile at that point of time, certain address. The person becomes maybe 28 or 29, maybe took a credit card. By that time, probably the person got married, marital status changed, probably the customer changed address, maybe some other changes happened. And in the system, because previous system recorded as R. Sharma, now it's recorded as Rohit Sharma. In the third system, it's become Sharma Rohit. The new system, the new entity and the new salesperson has booked it some way. Now, meanwhile, the customer turns 40 and has now taken a home loan. Every data is wrong, different. So bank will not know you are the same customer, right? And then you will not be able to get high quality services. Bank will. What IDFC has done is, there are 63 source systems like these. One loans, one liabilities, one credit card, like that, 63 systems. IDFC has moved all of these systems to a single data platform and cleaned up all the records. It's a mammoth exercise. And what IDFC has done is not only cleaned up the exercise, I mean, we are fortunately a new bank, a digital bank, a very native bank, and so on. So therefore, right from the beginning of building of this bank, we put these guardrails as well. So we built a really fantastic data platform. Now, you as customers will see it only, you can only experience it. I can tell you, it's like saying, this building has a great foundation. How do you know? How do you know? Sister, right? Like if the developer told you so, right? But I can tell you as a CEO of the bank that the quality of the build IDFC has done in building a fantastic data platform of clean, hydrated records, which are accurate, which is tallied. So we will know that's the same person no matter how 4 people have written your names. We will know because we've linked them like that. Then we have used machine learning on top of it to generate specific, we have developed a DNA. Every customer, like all of us human beings have a DNA, like that we have developed a DNA for every customer. And then using the DNA, we have made certain propositions. The DNA could also be financial, could be off us, could be on us, could find out if the customer is rude, or if the customer tendency to be abusive, or the customer is very polite and sweet, or whatever it is, right? All the contact is all going, everything going inside that, and people are, the people learning when they call the call center, or they use the app, on the app, what part of the app are they using, what part of the app they're not, everything is there. And we make a DNA for that. And then our ability to put generative AI on top of this is very powerful then. Because generative AI, otherwise you will only do point-to-point solution. Point-to-point solution is that you will make a solution for a particular call record and you will deliver. Chal jayega. But if the same call has to say, tell me something on what's happening on my home loan, it will be dead. So this is a second. So we built a data platform. Then, as far as again keeping on AI is concerned, IDFC has developed certain 4 or 5 good capabilities. We have done is we have taken all the policies of the bank, all the regulators, RBI's policies, all our policies, all our statements of our SOPs, let me say product-wise information, everything we put into a database and attached LLM to it. And now our employees are able to query there, and they can get a precise, high-quality information. So, for example, talking about Mule, if earlier that customer who was upset that we blocked the account, if they went to the branch will say, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know how it happened. That this upset me more, saying that we are, one, harassing the customer, and second, after the customer comes to the branch, they're saying, I don't know you, you go to the call center is called. These kind of problems were there. We fixed it. And if anybody has a problem, we should still improve on it, but we should be fixed it. So now with the AI, we are able to then say that your account is blocked for this reason on this date. Please give it this proof to take it out. So you're able to be more specific with customers, and that's also part of service, right? So on. So this is the third capability we built and put in the bank. Is we are still developing our capabilities for maybe developing agents. Today we are doing doing single agents. Single agents are now supposing we are now developed the ability to let me say read a license, read documents, right? Now the ability of the system to read a driving license or a passport and take out 12 or 13 or 14 fields from that and analyze those fields, classify that account is a passport or a license or what it is, further up, analyze it, and give that analysis to the people who are doing a transaction is a very powerful thing. Now, we have, I think, about 18 or 20 documents. We have now taught it. We're going to teach it from 15 more documents. After that, it's an enterprise capability. What I mean, enterprise is one team develops it. Now, whether home loan, car loan, personal loan, this, that, everybody can use it, right? So these are document capability. So I told you about how we read, think of like IDFC GPT, so to say, because you can go into it and all the policies are lying there, and I told you that. So like this, we have developed more and more capabilities. Some single agent capabilities we built. We built many more such capabilities we're building the bank. And we're trying to build everything as an enterprise. And we are able to build enterprise. I don't know how many of you are relating to what I'm saying, but I hope it's making sense to you. Enterprise capability means the whole institution can use it, not that division that developed it can use it. Right? That's what I mean enterprise. Now, the other thing is that I said one of them is prerequisite is data, and so on. Now, our bank initially started giving, 7% on savings accounts, okay? And we still pay 6.5% on savings accounts, pretty good rate. We paid above 3 lakhs. So people keeping up to 3 lakhs, we pay 2.5%. Like every other bank. Above that, we pay, 6.5. Now, for customers who are keeping balance up to 1 or 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs with us, it doesn't matter. They might as well kept it in any other bank. It's all the same because everybody's paying 2.5. We're also paying 2.5, up to 3 lakhs. Now, of course, we give monthly credit. People give quarterly, but that's a final point. But anybody keeping more than that, there's a distinct benefit in keeping money in the IDFC. Now, how to communicate this? You can advertise as much as you want. It's not going in people's heads. People don't even know what they're earning. So you can do really high-quality, micro-segmented marketing to the right people and not just spray the bullet at the entire country. Again, using the power of many of these capabilities. So service, I had to give you example. Now I'll give you what are the conditions. If you're implementing generative AI into respective organizations, we are, like many people are, we're not the only ones. So, but we are trying hard and we built a good platform that enables us. We have a tech culture, we have a tech mind. Everybody in the bank talks tech, okay? It's not just at me, and certainly at my level, I do, and everybody does. So what it does is that culture helps, the intention to make great products help, the ability to translate them to action in a manner, I'll tell you in a moment, it'll help. I'll tell you what I mean. Now think about it that you're implementing. First of all, you need all these core systems. You need your CRM system, your core systems, you need all of these systems, and you need data, and you need analytics and machine learning, you need all of that. Then you need a context where you're able to, every data, every information, only right or wrong in a context. You need the contextual data, maybe tribal knowledge of what's lying in emails, maybe what's lying in your systems of record, etc. Then all of these need to come to some place where you can build your agents, and all of that have to then connect into some sort of a governance structure in terms of, if you have an agent coming in, the agent should not go into the system and access all over the world. You should find, that security, governance, registry, etc. And then the experience layer. That's how the full stack works out. So IDFC is building really high-quality stacks. Eventually, it will show in terms of customer experience, and eventually customer experience shows up in terms of what franchise quality is built and the goodwill the institution gets from its customers. Goodwill comes both from being ethical with customers, not having dark patterns, not to pickpocket customers' money by 20 rupees, 100 rupees, this way or that way. We take a lot of care about that. Recently there was a big incident that all of you may have read about, right, in Chandigarh. You'll be shocked to know. Such a big incident, every Twitter, every YouTuber talking about that incident, but money did not leave IDFC Bank at all. You saw numbers, we reported numbers for the last quarter, did not leave. How? Because we were 2.9 lakh crores, we still have 2.9 lakh crores. How? So some amount of trust comes to the bank, builds its trust. Someone comes from technology, and technology by itself doesn't mean much, the experience. And we believe that AI can build experience, trust is trust, and together, great products, and then together it becomes what it becomes. So but I can only say that our bank is really building a really good stack. You will experience it in due course, whoever does among any of you. And then you can, we are trying to be well prepared for the upcoming big change that's coming in banking. And it is something that we believe is can be a bit of a magic carpet. Okay, yeah? So thank you, everybody. I'm done with what I had to share with you. Yeah? Yeah? Thanks, bye.